people. Welcome to 5 Rounds. I am one Tally. We have Pato, we have Patrick, and we have Ovi tonight.
Another Fire Friday.
Oh, Vida,
What?
there's background sound in your
Oh,
place.
sorry, my bad. Sorry, guys. It's controller.
It's just qualified, isn't it? Welcome back, Ovi.
Guys, sorry about it, guys.
Are you are you
I'm trying
ready?
to.
Can we start?
Yeah, guys. My bad. Sorry.
All right, cool. Guys, listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification button, right? Right, today, yeah, you guys might have seen the thumbnail, you might have seen the title, the question is, are we ready for VR? So you're thinking to yourself, might be a tech discussion. Actually, it's gonna be a lot of things, because tech is just embroidered in a lot of things in our lives at the minute. You know what I mean? We went from having no PC. So think about it. You went from having no personal computer or having one personal computer for a household to each person in your household having a smartphone. Um, phones these days are as necessary to you as your underwear. You can't go anywhere without your phone,
Okay.
or your shoes or whatever it is, So, when you get a phone, there's some things that you look at, you think, oh, what is my phone good quality? Does it take good pictures? All these things. So everyone's thinking, oh, VR, it's so exciting and all these things. But do you actually know what you're getting into? Do you know what VR is about? What's going to happen? So this is what the discussion is about. We're not going to sit here and run some numbers or talk about how
Binary.
how advanced the tech is, or what kind of algorithms are used to run a VR program. That's not what we're here for. We're here for the use. What does it mean to you? What's it going to do to your life, basically? So to start this off, I wanted to define what virtual reality is, right? So virtual reality is a 3D, maybe even 4D simulation of a different world. So it's an immersible world. What do I mean by that? So if you look at things like the video games we play right now, right? Imagine yourself. Imagine immersing yourself. Say a character like a Bitmoji. Imagine immersing yourself into that world, but
What's a Bitmoji?
oh, I'll tell you what a Bitmoji is. A Bitmoji is an avatar. So it's an avatar with emotions, right? So they mixed a character with emotions and made it a Bitmoji. So
Lively, yeah.
it's something that you want to represent you, but it's a live interactive character. So this avatar, um, this avatar represents you in a different world that is built to surpass physical limits and emotional limits and appearance limits and all these things, right? So
So
it
digital in a digital world.
correct. So you're in a digital world. How do we get into this digital world, right? So in this day and age, you have things like VR goggles. If you've seen people with them funny things going, you know, or
What?
that, or that, with the funny goggles doing funny movements, that's how they get into the virtual world, basically, and that's what we're going to talk about today, because there's a lot that's being done. There are a lot of projects that are being put into this. I mean, last year alone, the VR industry was worth about $40 billion, and I'm sure that's going to double by the end of this year. So we've got to talk about it. So to start things off, right, we wanted to find out, right, how it's used in the world,
Mm.
if it becomes a household necessity, how well would it be accepted? We want to look at why people would need it in the first place, um, and a few other things. So to start it off, guys, I wanted to ask this question: if VR becomes, actually, before I ask that question, how is VR used in the world today? Is it here now, or is it coming? Is it common? How is it used right now? Where have you seen VR? Basically, maybe let me put it that way.
Where?
It is there. It is there. It is
Okay,
oh like
and where?
it is there. It's been okay, so far it's been focused on gaming a lot. It's been focused on gaming, and that I'm pretty sure that percentage you talked about, or that figure you said that this is the amount of money it made. I think majority is on gaming, but believe it or not, I just found out recently that it's also being experimented in a lot of like military bases. They're trying to use VR, as a way to train soldiers, put them in the real combat situation, and then test them out. VR is also being used in places like NASA on how they can go to certain places, how they can land something, or how they can create something. It's also being used in labs. So those other places, I'm pretty sure it's mostly experimental stages. But if you talk about something that everybody knows, it's via gaming, via mobile phones. Samsung, HTC has got their own VR. What would you call it again? VR device? you can call it
Headset.
device. Headset. Yeah. So HTC has one, and Nintendo, I think, also have their own. So it's mostly in the gaming that everybody knows. But believe it or not, places like the military and places like hospitals that are starting to create certain situations. Like in the hospitals, they're trying to create a place where a surgeon doesn't have to train on an actual body, but they train in a VR world, but it will feel real. So that's the places I know. I don't know about the other guys where it's being used right now for you guys.
Have you ever used it, Patrick? Have you ever used VR?
Do you know the one I used? You will laugh. Do you remember that first one by Sega? You remember the Sega one?
Yeah, Sega VR, something like that.
Yeah,
Sega.
That's the one. That's the only one I've actually used. The Sega. My son had the Samsung one, but I didn't pay much attention. I think it's somewhere around the house. But I used the Sega one, and that was the only one I've used. And those were the first ones, first
one.
editions. Yeah,
that was like 1991, man. That was produced like 1991.
That's an old. Was it? Is it? I think that's a Nintendo one. I don't know.
You're going way. You're going.
No, I think I did. I think there was a Sega one.
There was a Sega one.
There was a Sega one, and then there came the Nintendo one. The Nintendo one came out in like 1995. The Sega one was
because I was sorry. Because I'm not a fan of. I was never a fan of Nintendo. So it must have been the Sega one. I'll try to find it.
All right, cool. So, what about you guys? Where have you experienced VR before? Where have you used it? Apart, obviously, Patrick's spoken about gaming. Have you ever used it in any other aspect apart from gaming? Well, I know that this is the biggest market for VR, but obviously, the future looks like it's gonna go off of gaming. It's gonna expand from gaming, go off of it. Is there anything apart from gaming that you've used it on?
Well, for myself, like I've only used it like over in the shopping center, right? So there was this guy that was like he set up his own system there, and you're kind of like just on a roller coaster, or you're either on like skiing, so you could choose one of the modes that you want to get on, or you like flying and stuff like that. So I used that, which was part of gaming. But then my knowledge is there's a lot behind VR that's being used so far right about now. Like the stuff that I've learned like over time is the VR arena where you can walk in like Metaverse, but then this is huge hanging out with friends, going to a cinema. So there's like you can,
sorry, MP, yeah. that's the one. I remember. It just came. Okay, one of the guys told us that I had that one, and that's the one I used. I remember it was like this, but that time it looked dope. Obviously now it looks ridiculous.
I didn't think there was actually that. Now I see it in my. Now I remember seeing it somewhere, but I didn't think that was VR. To be honest,
no, they had. Yeah, you did. They had, this stuff was there. Stuff was there back in the days. Like there was even one big one in the 60s. One big one that looked like a.
Can you actually?
Like you used to put your whole head inside.
Patrick, can you guys see that these guys were ahead of time? They actually have the same design that's actually present. It's not so different to the headsets now that are developed now. Like that was a huge development, but a big mess as well.
Well, you see, virtual reality has been okay. So it's been trial. I think since the 40s or the 70s, somewhere there, between the 40s and the 70s.
I think between 50s and 70s. I think. The first one was, what was this guy's name? I don't remember his name, but he developed the sensorama, so it could give you an experience of like, so you could walk into this console and you would be viewing through these glasses and stuff. So the experience was you could either choose to be on a motorbike and you could experience the lifestyle of riding a motorbike over in New York City, and the console would be blowing in wind, and you could smell all these smokes from the vehicles and all that stuff. That was like back in the 50s, 70s then.
Yeah, so the history of it is extensive, but I mean, a lot of people might be thinking, yeah, but VR is already here. Why are you guys saying? Why are you asking if we're ready for it? I mean, look, the reason is, VR is becoming a little bit more common. As I said before, the budget that's been put, and it's not the budget exactly, the money's that's been invested in VR last year alone is about 40 billion. So
40 billion.
Yeah, so it's a crazy number, man. So it means something is coming. It's going to be a little bit more common in the households and stuff like that. I could tell that Ovi was fishing for an example, but it's okay. We'll move to the next.
Yeah, I've seen it yet.
Yeah, like I could just throw in like the stuff that I also learned. Like it's like you can watch movies together with your friends, like gather up in like the metaverse kind of like arena. You can learn how to play an instrument like pianos. There are certain consoles like headsets.
Let me. You're skipping it. Well, we're gonna get to that part. The part that you're talking about.
I was gonna drop as well by there. I was gonna talk about other things, but I was like, yeah, I didn't think we are there yet.
I think we need to get to the right now. It's today's world. Are we, like how is it being used in today's world? More specifically, I wanted to know how you guys have used it before. Do you know what I mean? Like how it is right now. I remember going to a job interview at a certain telecommunications company, and for them to show you how they use their instruments, they put you on VR. So they'll sit you there on VR, and somebody will be telling you how each instrument they use and what they use it for, and then you can look around. And literally, these instruments are in the van, and you can look in the van and have a look at how they're set up and how this person sets them up on every step, basically. So that's where I've used it on. Instead of, for example, going out to actually see the instruments, the company thought, let's invest in technology that will save us time and money, and show these people what we do during the interview process. So it was. Yeah, so there was a few of us being interviewed in different stages. So while we're in different stages, some were watching these videos. So that's
a dope experience, man.
Yeah, that's where I experienced it as well. There's so many other examples, but I wanted to, we just wanted to look at where we're at right now. You know what I mean? And then we'll get to the where we're gonna be. The next question I wanted to ask: look, if VR becomes a household necessity, will it be accepted? So. If it now becomes something that you just need to use it, will it be accepted? Or maybe should I ask the question before that? Why we need it?
Why do we need it?
Yeah.
Me, the only thing that I'd say that why we need it if it became a household necessity. For instance, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but for instance, much as I've understood, I've seen it. I think it would be something very helpful in the sense where I've seen something about using the VR and then going into the metaverse where you're at home. But now most of the work, because of when COVID-19 happened, people are working from home, right? Or basically, but you're sitting at home alone on your laptop or PC where you're doing your job for the whole shift, let's say 8 hours, right? But with this VR, I've seen that you could put it on and you could be doing your work, and you could actually be like, what you're seeing is like you're in an office where other people who you also work with have the same system, and you actually literally sitting there with your VR on, but you can interact with all your workmates while they're at home in an environment where it looks like you're inside the office. I think
right, that's a dope one. It reminds me of the movie. What's that? Ready Player One. Have you guys watched it?
No. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really dope, though. It's really dope. But yeah,
Demolition Man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a dope one. That's
scary. Demolition Man. We got some comments here. Vanessa says, what's up, guys? Love hearts. What's up, Vanessa? We've got Kelvin saying, look, nice curtains, MP. says, look, the first VR was created in the 1970s. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, so I wanted to ask you guys, I've already asked the guys in the panel, but I wanted to ask the guys in the chat, look, if it becomes a household necessities, are you going to accept it? So we know that, Facebook, for example, and Microsoft have introduced the metaverse, because,
Yes.
we also know that VR exists. We know that PlayStation has PlayStation VR,
Oh,
and
yes.
we know that we have the Oculus Rift, the Oculus Quest, HTC had their own and all these things. So you've got things that, it's heavily used in games, but the average price of a VR headset is about $200, $100, $150 or pounds or euros, will it be, now that we're moving to this metaverse world where you can literally have this thing on for a long time, interacting with your friends or working or watching movies like Mr. Mpato said, or even buying stuff in this world, where it's going to be turned into an actual virtual world with, with a village in there, with tours, you can go and see historical places. Are you going to accept this in the household,
I can accept the historical stuff. I can accept that. Like, imagine if, sorry, MP, imagine, the fact that we were not born back in the days, let's say like Egypt, where there was like the pharaohs, everything, like exciting stuff like that. If we managed to bring that in my house, and let's say I'm taking a certain course in history, and they take me back to the battlefield of Napoleon or something, I would be amazed by that.
Yeah,
so maybe it'll make it easy for us,
It'll
Imagine
make it
that
easy.
experience.
It'll make it easy for people to learn in general. Some people don't like reading. They don't like, you know what I mean? They like viewing, Some people prefer to visualize something and then it sticks to their brain rather than, just a piece of paper talking about it, as you're saying, history, you know what I mean? If you talk about World War, yeah, it's fascinating. But if you see a video, a documentary about the First World War, it's more amazing, it's more appealing than reading it in a book saying, oh, they did this, oh yeah, that's very boring. I'm not going to read all that,
So the experience is better for you. Experiencing the whole thing, the whole battle.
Yeah.
Okay, so most of you are gonna accept it. You're just gonna say, look, let's get into it and whatnot. So
see.
Oh no, you asked us. You didn't say we can accept it.
No. I asked you. I'm asking you personally.
On what level? On what level are we accepting this? Is our privacy being invaded? Are we supposed to submit our details, our full details, and all that stuff, and it's in the open? Are we accepting that?
That's what I want to know. You see, because this is right. When Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, said, look, I'm going to introduce this metaverse thing. It's a world where you can be whoever you want to be and do whatever you want to do, right? We know that this same company thrives off of people's data, activity, what they like and whatnot. They love to get the advertisers in your face, the most valuable thing on there is advertising, So with this metaverse thing, right, where now they've got you in there all the time, behaving the way you like to behave, looking at what you like to look at, thinking the way you like to think. And all of this is seen by the Mark Zuckerbergs of today, the Bill Gates of today. Are you going to accept? Are you okay with that, basically?
So then that you've put it that way is, in the real world, in society, you have to have the morals. You have to look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to conduct myself in this certain way. If that's going to be your digital footprint as well, and that reflects on your real life, that's a bit damaging in a kind of situation, because see me today, I got my fetish and whatnot, and then I go into metaverse and I do all these things, and then tomorrow, there we are, my workmates are looking at me and I'm like, what up? And they're like, was that really you? Or was that just your avatar behaving like that? And I'll be like, shit, So it presents a different world. And where do people stop? I don't know. I wouldn't be keen to accept it at this moment. And most of all, I wouldn't be willing to, my privacy and, let it out there, because there are certain consoles that you can scan certain things and they can, pretty much detail your house. So I wouldn't be that person.
I have a question for you though. You say that your privacy, but your privacy is already out there right now, because when we register ourselves,
you get this. There is more that you're adding into the metaverse, because in metaverse, or not metaverse, I would say virtual reality, right? There's some consoles, the headsets and stuff. You can scan your house environment, and this house environment can become the virtual part of it, right? So some people can see these things, and they can know your house, they can know everything, they can know where everything is because you scanned it. They can know all the data.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna have to have permission, like the same way as on Facebook. Say only your friend can do this, or on PlayStation, or only your friend can do this. I'm pretty sure they'll be saying that only your friends are allowed to view something, and you're gonna have to give them permission.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that yourself?
Okay,
do we know about that?
That's a good point, Patrick. That's a good point. They're probably going to be privacy settings for you and all these things, right? But MP also has a point. For example, this metaverse that we're getting into, it's not going to be as easy as getting into a game and just pressing buttons, right? You're going to be interacting with people in this metaverse, right? Some of these people you will not know. It's going to be people that are representing a brand, representing a product or something. How many times have you clicked? How many times have you clicked a video or gotten into a video that you didn't even think you were going to watch? How many times have you gotten into a conversation you didn't think you were going to get into? How many times do we do that on Twitter? We don't even know who we're talking to, but we're comfortably talking to.
To add on to that, when you're in such things, when you're like using avatars, there's this thing when you're gaming, you have to buy tokens. How many times are you going to buy tokens to push off all those adverts and stuff? It's gonna be a big thing.
There's stuff like that. I mean, going back to again what you were saying, MP. Look, this metaverse is being advertised in a sense that, look, when you get into this world, you have to build your character. There's going to be people that will help you build your character, and then you have to dress your character. So guess where those brands are going to come? Those things are going to come from, these big brand companies, right? So what's going to stop? Exactly. What's going to stop somebody from misrepresenting that company? Like, we get these emails saying, "Hey, I'm from PayPal. You need to send me this much money." You know what I mean? What's going to stop that from happening, right? That's the first question. Secondly, in terms of the privacy thing, right? Facebook monitors, content using what you write. They look at what you write, what you record, whether there's hate speech and all these things. Think about this, right? To what extent do now Facebook have to look to find stuff, in your activity? Like, if you're in this world acting the way you're acting, how private is it? How private is it for you to behave however way you behave, right? Or is it becoming too open that you've got 100 people looking at what you're doing, and you trust these 100 people to keep you safe? Okay, fine. Let's bring the number down to two people. And you trust these two random people who don't know who you are to keep you safe,
Jeez, man. Like right about now is the level of acceptance. I don't know, right? And the level of development of these headsets and the technology behind it, we don't even know, because the discussions that I've been, catching up on was, they're trying to develop gloves that can make you feel what you touch in the
Is it with the glasses now? It's gonna be glasses and gloves now, isn't it?
It could be glasses, gloves, and as well as they're trying to develop a bodysuit that, when someone touches you over in the VR world, you can feel that. So
the suit is already there, but go on. It's a haptic suit.
Jesus, there we go, educating us.
And don't forget the treadmill where you're tied up and you walk in.
If you have all of that stuff all together, imagine the amount of times people are going to be harassed over just being in that world. But this is just you're being touched in the virtual world. You're not being touched in the real world. That should scare you in one place, because people could come from anywhere. These avatars will come from anywhere.
But listen, guys, I've got a problem here. All of you said you would accept this
No,
virtual.
I said to
Whoa.
some degree, I don't.
Me, I say I would accept. Guys,
no.
me, I say now.
I'm not saying
Me, I
no.
said
I'm not saying
me, I
don't get
said
me wrong.
me, I said I'll accept, and I'm not changing. I'm not changing my way.
Yeah, that's that.
All
But,
of
but
you.
no. We are commenting what MP is saying, but some of us have already said yes.
Exactly. So you,
I'm
all of
pretty
you,
much walking away from that
all of
because
you.
I'm not accepting people to see my stuff.
I wanted to look. The reason I asked this question, I want to know what side you're on. You know, are you okay with it? Are you not? And all of you accepted it. Well, most of you. And now that we're mentioning these things, everyone's starting to backtrack. You know, this is the thing.
I didn't back. I did. Excuse me.
What is this guy talking about?
Excuse me, sir. Did you see me backtrack?
No,
Sorry, sir.
Okay,
So,
speak your mind because
please.
you've been quiet
Hey,
for so long.
I've been quiet because I've been chilling. I was listening to these hooligans.
Let
who are
him
talking
speak.
rubbish.
Let him speak.
They
Let
don't
him
even
speak.
know which side they're on. I was listening to these two hooligans down there. They are saying yes, they accept. Now they've changed. Oh no, I know. Hey, somebody will touch me.
I didn't accept.
Who do you think will want to touch you? Nobody wants to touch you. First of all, you should know that. Please.
Ooh, that's hot stuff, man. This is hot stuff, man.
So anyway, let me get to my point. My point is, guys, I would accept it. I think, guys, listen. Before, what you should know in general, right? Before all this Facebook was coming, and okay, do you remember the time when they said, "Oh, Facebook takes your information and this and that," and everybody was like, "Oh no, I don't want it." Where are you now? You have Facebook, okay? Before all these things happened, everybody had a negative. We never had Facebook where you could just click a button.
Nah, man, there was a resistance. Some people over Twitter, some people over on Facebook. They had to draw you in because they put you on Instagram. That's how they took you in. They took you on WhatsApp. That's how they took you in. The rest of it is.
But listen, this is.
Let the man land, man.
When you see these things, guys, today when we're talking about VR, we're talking about it in this kind of way. We have all these negatives. They'll say, "Oh, this will happen," right? But if in general, if you face the reality now, that's where the world is going to. That's where the world. The one example that I've said and I've repeated is the one I was talking about working in an office. Now people are used from working from home. There's many companies after the COVID-19, they are no longer going back to the office because first of all, companies have realized they've saved money in a way that they don't have to rent a place where you have to bring people into the office every day.
Like 200K and stuff. Yeah.
Yes, they had to buy them materials which they have to use in there, which is meaning using electricity, water, and all that. They had to pay them for that. Now you're at home, you're using your own electricity. I don't think every company will embrace you for your electricity you're using anyway. But this is what is happening with virtual reality. When it comes, you're going to be in the scenario of being in work. And most people complain that it is boring because you weren't feeling like you're work. Imagine if you're in the virtual reality, your boss now can monitor you to make sure that you're doing your work. You know what I mean?
Oh, this guy. That's true. Fact. That's a fact. Yeah.
Okay. Look. Okay. I think you know what. Let's weigh up the benefits and I guess the dangers. Maybe so that we can draw a clear line. Because I wanted to ask first. I wanted to ask you guys first, like, are you jumping in? Because, the question, are we ready for VR? I know that a lot of people will go, yeah, of course I'm ready. I know what VR is. Then, when you really ask the question, do you really know what it is? Do you really know what it's doing to you? That's when people start going, let me, second thoughts, So this is the reason we're having this discussion today. I just want to get into the comments real quick before we continue, guys. All right. But the next thing, hold the thought. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at what the pros and cons of this VR are. You know what I mean? And then what the benefits are and what the dangers will be, So I'm just going to go into the comments real quick. You guys in the comments as well, you can tell us what you think the benefits of the benefits of VR is going to be to you guys. All right. So let's see. We've got Vanessa saying, look, absolutely. I mean, times are changing. The world is moving towards advanced tech. She also agrees with Ovi. She says Ovi's right. I don't know what she agrees with Ovi on. And then here we've got Kelvin saying, look, I can't wait for this metaverse thing. You can't wait? Okay, so tell us, what are the benefits and what are you concerned about? Are you just going to go straight into it and just give all your information out or what? Let us know. Let us know, man. So guys, you guys in the panel, right? What are the benefits of having VR? Why should we look forward to this VR metaverse thing? Why should I get it? Why? What are the benefits?
Yeah.
Let's start with Mr. MP. What are the benefits, man?
What are the benefits moving forward? I think the benefits moving forward, there's a lot. I really think there's a lot to it because, for example, right about now, you can look into, say, as we start today going forward. Having a VR headset would help you, like, explore other places of the world, right? And it's happening now. You can log on to like Google Earth and then start exploring all these other places, and you can learn so many things without even moving outside your house. Like, just walking outside your house, you can visit different places before you even book that holiday. So that is one of the advantages. And I think to add on to that as well, there is a chance of the healthcare sector and stuff like that. So these guys are exploring different areas. They could study the human body. They could study all of this and help you get a better picture about your body and stuff. So they will be using all that technology, not even tampering with whatever skin, whatever blood, whatever issue it is, right? Before they even get into that surgery, they will go through all those tests to actually figure out what the problem is. I feel the other one is it helps in, I think I've heard of, it helps in meditating, because then with having a cluttered kind of like environment, you could put on headsets, and while you put on the headsets, you could be looking at a different kind of view, because it's like you have all the glasses, you're looking around and you're looking at a different world. You're not looking at your space, because you might be living in a shabby kind of like a kind of shack kind of house, like, and you might want to just experience some different kind of environment to say, my house should look like this. I want to build my house this way. There's those things that would take you out of reality, take you away from reality, and put you in a better place. And yeah, that's what I think. Like, there's a chance of developing all these things and hanging out with friends on GTA. I think we are one day.
Jesus.
Have you guys got anything to add to that? He says,
Yeah.
So Patso says it's therapeutic. It's going to be therapeutic, and you get the whole open world experience and all this stuff. So
Yeah, there's a lot of things I can think of. For me, I'm going to go to like what MP touched on it, but I think he didn't go deeper into it. There's certain things in this world where there's jobs people do in this world that are risky, or there's things that are experimental, but you can actually use VR in the future, or even right now, use VR instead of using a human being or using like animals for certain stuff. Like, for instance, the example I gave earlier on about soldiers, saying putting them in the real combat situation, right? Putting them in a place where it's full of mines. Like back in the days, they would test you out in such a scenario, but now they don't, obviously. But I mean, like, putting you in the real world where this is how war goes, this is how it happens. So people are prepared, because most soldiers, right, end up in the front line, and then they end up with the after effects of it. What do you call it again? Is it PS what?
PTSD.
PTSD.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like, but imagine before you go there, multiple times you've already been in that scenario because of VR. You've been in that scenario. You've already been in that situation. You've already seen what's going to happen. Basically, in that situation, you see, somebody gets shot in here, somebody blows up if they mess up. So you're already into that. So it prepares your mind. It can also help us with
I think but
this is also happening.
Before you move on, the PTSD part, you can't expect it. Like, you can't over.
I know you can't. Yeah, but I was
really.
You know where I learned about this. This is they also. That's what I was saying. It can help because there are people who fear planes because of anxiety. They're using that already right now as we speak. Certain hospitals are using VR. They put you in a plane scenario already, and it's actually helping people get past that. No, what I meant is, I know it's not going to help the whole. I keep forgetting this P word again. I keep forgetting.
Patrick, you just reminded me. Like in life, everyone walks into an interview room, right? and they're so scared to face the panel, right? There's some applications that they've developed for the VR gaming stuff, and they help you walk into a room, an interview room in the VR world, and you can be interviewed and face all these panels and stuff. They will ask you all those questions that you're actually preparing yourself into.
People with anxiety problems, I think it's also been focused on that. They're focusing on that's the good. Even the test dummies, like believe it or not, today they don't just use test dummies in certain situations. I didn't know till now, 2022. There's actually people who are still being put in that car and they're driving it in situations. Obviously, it's a safety environment. It's a safe environment.
Yeah.
Also, I hope now, and I know it's sad for me to say this because certain people, this is their job. Going forward, maybe there will be less situations of risk in stuntmen. The stuntmen who get risked because they have to do certain situations. If they improve VR, I know now they'll just have to use that instead of putting a stuntman in a situation where they lose their life over trying to do some incredible, ridiculous stunts. So for me, I will be supporting it more if it's going to help us with things that you have to do something, risk something, like the life of a rabbit in a laboratory, because in a lab, or a monkey, but instead they can use that they can use
Patrick, it's laboratory
to sort of do the scenario. What?
It's laboratory. Not
lab. Okay.
Laboratory.
Okay, a lab.
You got it. You get it. Forget about it.
Yeah, but look, apart from that, there's also certain situations where, certain experiments where they happen, where where they test bombs, where they test certain bombs, stuff like that, where they're testing bombs, but they can test it now in this world. They don't have to go and start damaging areas or risking certain air flights testing something. They test it in a virtual world, and it's less risk.
Testing
simulation
in a virtual world.
Simulation, more of I believe so.
It's a simulation situation. That's what I keep. That's what I'm seeing. If it goes.
I don't know about testing bombs in a simulation. I don't know about that one, boss. You might
because I think I would only back Patrick to a certain extent, because then, for example, the Hiroshima, right? They would probably just test to say, okay, this was in this much content. This is what chemicals they put in it. Blah blah blah. This is a widespread explosion to it, right? They would say that, but then military do test bombs in the sea over whatever and stuff like that. They do test that, but then moving forward, they might be testing it to say, if we put this amount of chemical in it, blah blah blah, what's the explosion wavelength, and stuff.
That's done by calculation. I'll give you an example. The people that love Call of Duty, the people that use the Claymore mine, for example, the Claymore mine, they give you an estimated blast range. So a Claymore mine is something that you can put in front of you, set it up, and it blows up in a certain direction, and also it's got a back blast of a certain few meters. That we already know. We already know what it does. Now you're telling me that something that is new. How are they going to build this thing in this metaverse or this virtual world?
Did you hear my first words? I said, if I will be all into this, if they take things that are risky and make them less risky and putting them into this world, I'll be happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's those one of those questions, if Wantali has 5 apples and Ov takes 2, how many apples does Wantali have? It's that kind of calculation, because they're just saying they're just putting it out there to say, in the metaverse, this is in the VR world, this is how it looks like. The explosion spreads this far, and then what if we put it in the real world? With the wind blowing from this direction, with that blowing from that, and stuff.
And simulation, anything can be simulated. I'm pretty sure anything can be simulated, isn't it?
That makes sense. What you're saying is it'll probably reduce real life tests. It won't stop it. It'll probably reduce them. you know, because
Correct. Yeah.
yeah, so you would have to have the data, the actual data of, okay, this is how it behaves. Let's take it into a simulated world and test it on, I guess, test subject, whatever it is, you know. Anyway, we're diverging on this one too much.
Yeah.
Ovi, have you got any more benefits? Because these guys are talking about all kinds of things, like weapons and all these things, man.
Me, the only one, as I already said, one of them is that one that about working, guys. That one is super. Mwah. I think I loved that. When I was watching the video, guys, earlier on, I was amazed. All right, that's a big benefit.
Why is it a benefit to you? By the way, why are you so into this whole work thing? Like,
because
do you think is it on a personal thing?
You know, yeah, I'm just thinking in the concept where, man, you can, like, it is boring to work from home. I didn't do it, but I know from people and experience, lots of you guys probably work from home. It is kind of shitty. But if you're doing that and you feel you're looking at yourself on your office and you can interact with the people, hi, how are you doing this morning? You know what I mean? I think that's amazing. You've touched most of them, like you're saying, experimenting.
So what's the benefit? I want to hear the benefit, because you keep saying it's the work thing, but what's your benefit?
I think the convenience of having your work environment in your home. Virtually.
Is that what you're happy about?
Yes, of course, 100%. Hey.
Okay. There's one thing I wanted to outline actually. You know,
how about when you're watching Beamer as well? You know.
Oh my gosh, guys! You know, you're looking at the things that are already there. You know what Ovi's saying. No, these are there, right? So think about it, right? Virtual reality is there to defy physical limitations, whatever limitations the world has. You know, so you know one of the things that the metaverse is trying to promote is you could be in one place now and be in another in seconds. You know, so you could be hanging out with your friends in, I don't know, Rome, and then go to New York, you know, in this metaverse.
So is this the message that they were trying to work on teleporting, and they felt teleporting, now they're doing digital, VR world?
Yeah, so digital teleporting, you know, so so, you know.
Okay. Just read that comment, please.
I mean, you know, think about it, like, you know, this teleportation thing, or say for example, if you want to fly in VR, you know, if you want to have an overview of the world, you want to see what's on top of the Empire State Building or whatever it is, you know, stuff like that. Those are the benefits, things that you have never seen before, things that you are not capable of seeing, you know.
I think
things you're not capable of doing.
Yeah, one time.
Like help you land on the moon.
Yeah, like you see,
whatever.
This is a good conversation, because I'm thinking right about now to say, you know what? Sometimes, let's say, for example, let's say Patrick or you know the other guys. Let's say you're a parent and you want your child to experience some certain things, and let's say you say roller coaster. I've seen a couple of videos, parents, you know, standing, you know, sitting right in front of the screen and putting their kids in a bucket, and then they're like watching a video of a roller coaster and then going through all the way around and then trying to get all that experience. With the VR, you get the experience of just, you know, your kid will put on the headsets and then they'll experience the roller coaster, and they've never been on it. At a very young age, they could experience all that. So there are certain things that, you know, you could help your kids experience before they even actually get to that level, you know?
I thought you were about to say, like, for instance, Ella, who's never seen Malawi, she gets to see Malawi while she's in Ireland.
True story.
Yeah. So I mean, look, it's the things that, because if we're talking about, oh, you get to have your office, you get to do this. I mean, look at a wider scale. Is everyone going to want that? You know what I mean? But then if you say, look, you get to be in this place today and get to be in that place tomorrow, tell me one person that's going to refuse that, you know? Oh, crap, I don't have to drive my car. I don't have to pay for a flight. I don't have to do all these things. I get to see another place without leaving my own home. Do you know what I mean? I get
without
to see
without visa,
without all these complications. I get to see what happened in 1980, whatever, without leaving my home, you know. So these are some of the benefits that are being pushed by this metaverse thing, the VR thing, and all these things. You get to hang out with people like Snoop Dogg in these worlds, and he's in his house and you're in yours, but you're talking to this guy,
But
So,
is this also trying to encourage? No, is this also trying to just dent the tourism market though? Because then imagine in a sense that everyone else has got headsets, VR headsets. Is there going to be much trouble to that? Like people are going to travel a lot, are people going to want to spend, because then they can buy this little package that you can experience to visit Rome, to visit Paris for like €1 or a pound.
I'm pretty sure those companies will get involved then.
Exactly. That's what this is the part. This is the other part I wanted to highlight, basically, because as much as you're worried about things like that, those services will be in this world. As Patrick is saying, those people will be providing these services. As COVID has taught us, many companies have switched. There were those companies that were never on for example, on a food delivery website, and now they're on there offering all these kinds of packages
these days. Pubs, yeah.
Companies that had companies.
Pubs is all you think about.
Companies that did not have digitized information now have digitized information. So look, when the world changes, companies will shift to whatever it is that's going on. I think we've mentioned a lot of the benefits on this one. Before we continue, actually, guys, if you're new to the show, please remember to like and subscribe and hit the notification button.
And of course, share.
And share of course, share it as well, man. So if you ain't liking this, I don't know what's wrong with you. Don't make me come after you, So, guys, what we're talking about today is virtual reality, guys. All right. So we have spoken about the pros. We've spoken about how it's used right now, what's coming in the future. We haven't spoken about the dangers of virtual reality or being in this metaverse world. I'll start this off. One of the most common problems, or one of the most common issues users face with using the virtual world is this locomotion business. So when you're moving around in the virtual world, some people feel a bit disorientated. You get a bit of motion sickness and all these things. Some people even get virtual sickness. So in a sense, they're too stuck into this virtual world. They forget, they can't distinguish between the virtual world and the real world, right?
You've seen those Christmas videos?
No. So what are the dangers, guys? What should people be concerned about? What are the dangers of having VR? So if you wanted VR, right? What are the things you're going to consider, when you're buying it? Because when you buy a mobile phone, you look at so many things. The quality, is it going to protect me?
Can I just say,
is it something that people are spying on, for example? So what are you going to consider when you're buying this VR headset? What are the dangers of it?
As we've all learned, right? I don't know if you guys heard the story of the one of the staff members over at Meta company wanted to do up an experiment to walk into the metaverse, but she was virtually raped in like 6 seconds the moment she dropped into the world, and then all these avatars were onto her and did their pleasure and stuff like that. But when I was say it,
no, let him finish. Let him finish.
Okay, cool. Go ahead. I find that very okay. Go on.
But Obi, I don't know what your question is, but hey, you got me cracking up already. But anyways.
Yeah.
With that kind of stuff, right? Where is the age limit? Like, where is the age limit to VR, world? Is there a restriction to it? Is there a parent needed to, put a restriction to that? Are those headsets moving in that line? Because what I've learned so far is the VR world is in like a couple of, sections, right? So there are mobile users, there are PC users, there are like game console users. So in all those worlds, like it's not one universe to say there is that one universe where you could say there's authority, there's someone else, monitoring all those activities. There's a certain saying to say, oh, for this avatar, you have to set a certain limit to say once a certain avatar gets maybe a meter or half a meter closer to the certain avatar, then that means the metaverse police should be alerted to all these activities and stuff. I haven't heard of all of these things because everything is in development, and as we could see so far, what's that? Sega developed like the VR over like in 1991, and we're still trying to develop. From 1991, you would think like the technology has coped up, the developers have coped up as well. There isn't anyone that's qualified to be saying, "Oh, I'm a developer of VR and I'm qualified. I'm 20 years qualified for VR, use." There isn't that kind of stuff.
Well, my question is, what are your concerns? So you're saying
My concerns, it's not a safe place.
Okay, yeah, I heard that one. What you said about that, yeah, that's a valid point. Like, how safe is it going to be? That's one of the concerns. Have you got any others or?
Any others is the data that you're putting out there, because every time we set up avatars on, like, even the phone, you're like pretty much putting all your data out there. What's the limit to putting the data out there? Is it encrypted as the way they tell us that it's encrypted on like WhatsApp? Is it encrypted the way certain platforms make it to be? So the encryption to it, are we going to, like, the moment that we're like buying the skins, we want to have our avatar having certain funky hair. When we put our credit cards, our debit cards, details on there, are we actually saying this is safe? And when we switch off our console, is everything safe? We don't even know. So
but how do you know your card details are safe on the internet?
See, that's the thing.
Exactly.
I'm already concerned to say they're not safe at this moment, and they won't be safe later on. It's even adding more information to whatever it is.
But you still use the internet to pay for items, right?
Fast food, yeah, and dodgy
Can I just say, ignorance is bliss. Sometimes I just tend to just ignore the fact that I put all my information out there.
So it's not a concern then. Okay, so now let me ask you again, Mr.
Wait, can I say one thing before I forget?
Go on. Sorry.
The other thing I was concerned about is I thought he was about to touch on is my concern. This is me personally is. People are able to become whatever they want in this virtual world. Let's imagine we go there. What if somebody's lying to me that they're a doctor and they're not? That's what I'm scared about. Or they're lying to me that they're somebody they're not. They sell me something or deceive me. You find, okay, let me make it simple. You find there's a single woman talking to some guy. She thinks maybe he's also 25. Not knowing he's like in his 70s or some old man.
That's what I was talking about, age limits.
Yeah, like this is that this world is not like, for instance, let me just make it fair. Let's say you have your kids in this world, and then there's an old man or old woman grooming these kids, and these kids think, look, they have an avatar who's also 7, and they're not 7 at all. This is what I'm scared of for me personally as a parent. You find them somebody 70. But the avatar is like 10, and then kids who are 10 are talking to them, thinking they're both 10.
Okay, let me go back to what Facebook does to detect these, the pedophiles and whatnot.
You didn't tell us. Come on.
Well, look, Facebook has an age restriction feature. It has that. Also, it monitors activity. They monitor the activity you use. This information is not really hard to find. It will monitor the activity that people have. Unless you're really good at hiding your information. There are algorithms out there that catch up with what you're saying, who you are and what you're saying. So think about this, right? The way you think is being put into this VR machine already. Mm-hmm. Are you telling me that these supposed pedophiles are constantly thinking like children? Are they, just I don't know, help me out here, because if you're a pedophile, are you automatically thinking like a 10-year-old? Or are you thinking like an adult, but trying to pretend that you're befriending a child? Yeah. So if VR can do that, detect that from that point, like, dude, you're like,
Has
we
it
know,
been
we know,
proven?
we know you're 70 years old. Okay, think about it, Mr. MP. Is a 10-year-old gonna go and get, I don't know. Is it 10? Look, let me think about
Excuse
something.
you, people like kids are setting up what Snapchat accounts. People
Okay,
are like kids.
forget about Snapchat. That's not what I'm thinking about.
No, keep going, because for me, you're going to educate me, because I'm saying as a fear as a parent, right? I'm
Yeah.
fearing that somebody will pretend to look like an avatar of a certain age. So if you have an answer for me, I will appreciate.
But Patrick, I'm already here thinking. We're already in the VR world where kids set up a Snapchat account, kids set up, all these accounts,
Yep.
and while they set up them, right, they are able to interact with whoever they want to interact with, right? And you have no authority, you have no power to stop that.
These kids that again, this is why we're having this discussion, right?
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
When kids set up a Facebook account or whatever it is, their parents, I hope sensible parents will know who their friends are on this Facebook, who they're talking to on Facebook. You know what I mean? To restrict this problem,
there's functions you restrict. Let's say if you give a kid a phone, there's systems you put in there where you will know exactly what they have downloaded and what they're registering to.
Correct.
Can we just say that kids are learning how to save money and they know how to get a phone that could actually function with certain applications and stuff?
A 10-year-old
kid?
You give your kids money to buy something, they will save and get something that they want. Trust me.
Okay, that is okay. Right. Well, if that's what you look, I'm gonna go with this, right? This comes down to the basics, parenting, because you can stop somebody from trying to do something they want for so long. If they want to do it, they're gonna go.
Thank you.
If you parent,
he speaks. He finally speaks.
If you parent this child properly.
No, because I'm going to be listening to your bullshit first before I can attack.
Might they want to do it? Yes. But do they also know that they've been advised not to? Yes. What are the chances they're going to do it? You know what I mean? What are the chances? I don't know. I don't have a kid, but what are the chances? With me being a kid, when my mom told me don't go and do whatever, or this is what's going to happen to you.
That's when you're going to do it.
I'm going to tell you 8 times out of 10 I listened. There was probably 2 times that I didn't.
You're like, let me try this.
Why
do they say I shouldn't do it?
There's a chance I'm going to listen.
And don't go to the Metaverse. Don't you dare go to the Metaverse.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that. I think, what's the name? Vanessa saying, look, one time, not always. Kids have been groomed and killed in the same scenario. Patrick was talking about that. I guess that's what she's trying to say. Yeah, okay. I mean, I get it. There will be a danger. There'll probably be people that will get through the system, but
let's educate ourselves.
This is, for me, I feel like this is it's a lazy way of pointing the finger. These pedophiles were there before Facebook. These pedophiles were there before VR. You know what I mean? They were there before all these things happened. Now they've got these things, of course, to do what they need to do, right? You have also allowed your child to get on this place, knowing that there are people out there that are pedophiles. There's a reason why, for example, growing up as a kid, your parent would tell you, don't cross that road, man. If you cross that road, I'm gonna have you. You get what I mean?
So, Wantali, you're talking about earlier on about the suit, right? The suit that has been developed to, make you feel all these kind of things in the VR world. As a parent, do you think parents are going to be in that position to let their kids be in those suits and stuff moving forward?
Why are we going to this suit?
I don't know where we're going.
Do you have one? Do you have one?
Pedophilia, because that pedophilia kind of actions, right?
Do you have one?
So you
wait, no, what's the context?
Listen, how is that? How? No, I want to understand. The suit, yes. So somebody touches you. Listen, somebody touches you in that world, and then you feel attached, and you feel like, oh, somebody has done something. Okay, in the first place, did you not expect that to happen if you've got a suit that anyone can just touch you?
Okay, let's not get there, but I'm just saying that in the sense of that the technology is developed beyond expected, right? Beyond expected. and your kid is like 10 or like 15 or 18 and stuff like that. That kind of stuff. Do you think this technology is actually really, it's okay for like a parent to actually let their kids to use it before the age of like 18 or like there?
So kids have been using phones. What's so different from that? I think a phone is more dangerous than this technology.
Okay, let me
pass that.
Let me go into the comments, because we've had this discussion before, and now people are talking. She goes, one time, not always. Kids have been groomed and killed in the same. I think I read that one. Yes. It says, look, yes, one time they will do anything to groom kids on Facebook without even using a picture. Says, this is why people advise parents to check their phones. What, Dali, you are capping. It's not that easy. Kids find a way around it. Now, you've got to understand this. I'm not disagreeing that kids find a way around it. Trust me, when I was a kid, I found my way around a lot of things. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, we'll get to that point. Kids these days are different. They'll find a way, Mr. Kevin says. One, Tally, you can parent a child all you want. If they have bad influence, they will do it. So they will willingly go to this person that's going to hurt you. Right. Parents have lost their kids because of these situations. They have better access. Right. You guys are saying, kids have access. The mitigations are there. The mitigations are there to help protect these children. All of us here play PlayStation. The number of privacy settings you have on PlayStation, you can literally play with someone and not need to even talk to them.
Can I just say, I'm reading an article and then it says, 15-year-old just made 2 million from creating, the NFT. Does NFT have a age restriction? No. They're already like all of these things. Kids are already doing stuff that adults can not even do. How do they get access to those stuff?
So what's the point there?
The point is,
if a kid can create an NFT, what?
The point is, if a kid can learn about some certain thing, they can do certain things that adults cannot, think of doing, right?
Yeah.
And they will access certain things that adults are just like, I'm not going to do that because that's not, I can't waste my time doing that, right?
Okay.
And these are the things that you can't even stop a kid from doing to access certain.
Okay. I think, let me ask Mr. Patrick over there. You have kids, don't you? You know what I mean? Because we're sitting here arguing about kids when three of us don't have kids. There's a man with children.
Can I just put an example?
Ask the kid merchant.
No. There's a man with children right here. Okay.
The kid merchant.
Right here. All right. Mr. Patrick, if you don't mind me asking, how old are your children?
One of them is 6, the other one is 10.
Thank you. Right. So
all right, let me give you before you even go far. I got a friend request from one of his kids on my PlayStation.
Yeah, because you're his uncle. You are his uncle.
How do I react to that? Right?
Accept it, you're his uncle.
No. He didn't even know my username, but he actually learned how to find all the. He
saw you on my friend list. That was during lockdown.
Of course.
That's how kids are so smart.
No, but come on,
that they can learn so many things.
No, MP, that's very
easy. He saw you on my
that's easy. That's so dumb. You just said something. That's
okay, ask your question. Ask your question. One time, ask your question.
Not a lot of people. Guys, don't expect that all the audience that are watching this have a PlayStation and they know how to use a PlayStation and they know how to find friends and all that stuff.
No, but if I click on your profile on PlayStation, I can see every friend that you have, even if they're not my friends.
Can you actually ask the audience to say, how do you get to a profile, a person's profile, and then get to their friends list, blah, blah, blah. They don't even know because they don't own a PlayStation.
Right.
That's that kind of conversation.
Can you ask a question one time, please?
All right. Look, guys, let me ask you a question, Patrick, okay? Your children, right? How do you control this social media thing? How do you ensure that your child is not mingling with the wrong people, not connecting with the wrong people?
It's quite simple. When first let's even talk about the devices they have. even for the fact that when let's say he sent a friend request to MP and everybody on my close list, even including his uncle Kelvin, all of it sends me a message to my email, says so and so has sent. Even after when MP asked me, there was already an email in my phone saying he sent a request to so and so. He's done a request to so and so. Even if he registers, even if he wants to buy.
Patrick Rose in the nine fist. Oh my god.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, even when when I registered my daughter's Nintendo, it's under a parent, it's under parental guidance. So whatever they want, they ask permission. Unfortunately for PlayStation, asking for a friend request, if they go to somebody outside my friend list, it will still ask me that yes or no, and he has to ask me. But on my friend list, it seems like he can just go. But what I'm trying to say is, even if you get him a phone these days, that phone, when you're installing it, you say, is this going to be given to a child? And when you say yes, everything he does, even his own mom can switch off his phone without him switching it off. He can't look at anything without it being sent on. He can't get anything that's over his age. But the weakness for PS, I think, as Wantali said, is there's a lot of privacy settings. You really have to go deep into those privacy settings. And even though kids might know certain privacy settings, some they don't, they have to go to YouTube. So for me, to answer you guys, how you control kids with technologies, you just have to, when you're installing the software, you install it as a parent. You are the parent, so and it has to be linked to your email. Unfortunately, because they're kids, you're going to receive a lot of emails asking for permission. That do you permit them to do this? Do you permit them to do this? Do you permit them to do that? So that's the way I deal with the kids here.
Okay. So from what I understand, Patrick is what he's doing is parenting, protecting. Okay, and I am sure he's also advising, right? So this goes back to the point that I was making, the basics, right? The first thing you do before your child goes anywhere, and I'm sure all of you have experienced this. I'm talking as somebody's child, right? When I was somebody's child, I had oh, you bloody! I had my limitations. I wasn't when I lived in a certain area. My mom was like, "Don't go past that road. Don't make friends with those people." Like literally, when we get
don't eat food at anybody's house.
Yeah. These are the rules. You know what I mean? When we get to a place, these are the rules, right? Obviously, different cultures, different whatever, right? But if you know there are dangers like this in this world, are you not going to prepare your child for those dangers? Because I tell you what, that stopped me from getting in a lot of trouble. I'm not going to lie. So if we're sitting here saying, oh, Facebook is dangerous, people are there to do these things, but the parents themselves have a responsibility to make sure that their kids know who is dangerous or who is coming with a bad intention.
Can I back up? Can I back up MP on one thing? MP, before you say anything, I can back up MP on one thing though. There might be these limitations you have, right? But there's a downfall also. I want to just say these limitations also have limits, like these protections, like especially YouTube. I don't like YouTube. YouTube, there's nothing you can do. There's YouTube for kids, but it's for kids like 5 below. But when Josh's age, if you give him the YouTube for kids, it's for like baby videos and nothing limited. It's not even YouTube for kids. It's made by somebody independent. But if you use the normal YouTube, he has access to do anything. Now that's even the other downfall. If he YouTube's a video on how to unlock all this, which some kids have done, not him, which I've heard some of my friends at work say, my kid managed to unlock this, and I found out he looked on YouTube. YouTube teaches them how to unlock your child's the parental setting.
And you know what? Patrick? Most of the times, adults have figured out that kids are really good at asking questions that really give the solution to everything that they want. So as an adult, you'll be asking that vague kind of question. Kids will go straight forward. How to unlock a phone? They will get the answer. And how to unlock a phone, an Android phone, but this is serious. We ask in a different way. So kids will always get the answers right. So
how do we battle that though? Like this is what just for me as a parent, it pisses me off that especially YouTube. They can search anything. They'll be like, Okay, here's a funny one for you guys. I took my son's controllers away so that he cannot play his PlayStation because it's a timeout. Do you know what he did?
Hater, you're such a hater.
He YouTubed because he had his phone. He YouTubed how to use his phone as a controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He told me on my phone that he's
Connected.
Okay. Look.
So are we ready for it? I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know. That is this is why we're asking this question. Actually, this is why we're having this discussion. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna read the comments quick, and then we're gonna conclude this topic. So let's see. There's quite a few, to be honest. There's quite a few. One tally, can you parent a child?
Yeah.
Oh, you can parent a child all you want.
Yeah.
If they want to have a bad influence, then they will do it. Yeah, you see, that's the thing for me. If I parent my child, if I know I've done what I can to protect my child, and they go and do it, that's on them, isn't it? That's on them. They have better access. Nearly impossible to protect kids these days with bad influence and all. Where's the bad influence coming from? Kelvin's like, MP has a point. If a kid can get an NFT, what else can they do? How come? So, Wantali, how come the other kids have not been protected? Why are you asking me? Do I look like I've got kids? Man, damn. She goes on to say, I'm capping. Goodness me, there's quite a few. It's quite a few. It's not like they are dangerous, guys. Guys will tell you the kids that. Okay, it's not like you might want to retype that, man.
Well, okay, so it's not like the dangerous guys would tell the kids that, oh, I'm a bad guy or I'm gonna come kill you now.
Yeah,
so,
obviously not. Obviously not. They're gonna befriend you, definitely. So, but warning. Like I said, educating your children of the possible dangers. That's the important part. If it's something that you feel is not comfortable, like Jesus, my friend would never ask me.
Can we just put light to the fact that there is peer pressure amongst children? So you just don't have.
Or are they gonna just make a metaverse where it's just for kids? Maybe.
We'll see what
they can do that. Yeah, they can do that. You never know. They can do that. You never know. They can do that.
So Kelvin is like, once these kids turn 14, 15, parenting ain't easy. Even at that age, we had access to things our parents never even saw. Kelvin, let me tell you something, right? You had access to all these things. You did all these things that you have done, right? Good on you. Where's that gotten you? Do you know what I mean? A parent can only tell you things so many times. How many times have you heard your parents say, I'm going to take you to that river? It's up to you to drink the water. Do you know what I mean? So you're there.
Wait. Did your parents say?
hey, my parents said, look, man, I'm going to give you what you need to protect yourself and whatnot. This is what's dangerous. But once you reach a certain age, I can't tell you what to do. Do you know what I mean?
Did you drink the water?
Are you serious? Are you like?
I'm joking.
Are you serious? Anyway, listen. People will be in danger. As long as there's danger, there's a possibility that people will be in danger. That's the argument here. It's not like I'm saying this will stop things happening. Anyway, to conclude this, guys, right? Looking at what we've looked at, are we actually ready for this VR? Do you think, this is the right time for us to have VR? Just in a quick and short summary, do you think we are ready to have this VR? Do you think, if it comes today, you're going to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm good with this. I know how I'm going to use it, and I know I'm going to protect myself. Yes, Ovi.
100% yes. With no doubt. If they want it tomorrow, I'm ready. Prepared.
Only for work, yeah.
Not only for work, for everything, bro. I'll do, man. If they say everything else, we're gonna do it in VR, I'll be like, I'm in. No questions asked. Where do I sign up?
Okay. And you, Patrick?
Yeah. Look, I'm into this because after what I have seen it can do and what it can achieve, I think it's going to benefit us it's going to benefit us a lot. And obviously, the issues we're concerned with, they're already happening right now. So if you talk about catfishing, if somebody's going to pretend to be a woman and I start talking to them and find out it was 130, nah, I'll be disappointed. It's happening in this world. If somebody's going to call me or steal from me, it's still happening in this world. About the kids, as MP has stated, those things are still happening in this world. So look, bring it on, man. I think it's going to be more of a benefit than a hindrance.
Okay. And finally, Mr. Paso.
I think you have to welcome it with a caution.
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about
Yeah.
you.
Oh well,
Yeah.
I have to welcome it with a caution as well. Like it will be overwhelming because then like you're entering in the real world, like you're birthing into a real world. You have to learn that there are certain rules that you have to understand. So people are gonna come with different kind of actions. So it's something that I'm interested in to get into, but I need to get my headsets first and then experience the first levels of it. If I don't like it, I might say I'll drop it. But I'm well able to say take improving, and I welcome VR as it comes. But if it gets extreme, I will exit my turf. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. In a nutshell, look, we're all excited for VR. Everyone's excited. I mean, look, it's a virtual world. You can do what you want. You can literally get in there and do what you want, be who you want to be. But I think that
GTA, man.
we seriously need to think about what we are giving this environment, or the people that built the environment. What information are you giving? What do they need from you? Why do you have to be there? These are the things that you have to think about before you get into anything like social media. What's in it for me? Why do they want why are they asking for this information? You know, and stuff like that. So I'd say just be a bit cautious. That's how I'd be. I treat everything cautiously, like minimalistic, basically. Give as less information as possible. Um, Moving on to what we have tomorrow. Tomorrow is a
It's
busy
time for the main event.
busy day. Busy day
Of the
tomorrow.
month.
Mr. Patrick, can you tell us what's going on tomorrow, please, sir? Starting with Twitter, if you can speak.
Come on.
You're on mute. You're on mute.
You're
All
on
right.
mute,
Just bear with me for a minute. I was doing. Oh, you already put it up. I was about to share it. I didn't want it on full screen. So look, guys. This is something different. It's not going to be at night. We're talking about poverty in Africa and the war in Ukraine. We're going to tackle the situation with the Africans.
That's nice.
Let me not get too deep into it. You guys have to be there. It's going to be on Twitter
So,
Spaces. It's going
yeah.
it's going to be at 6 p.m. This is Saturday, by the way. Saturday at
So
6
tomorrow.
p.m. That's UK time, and then 8 p.m. CAT time. So look, guys. I would like you guys to come there, and we've got guests like Kyle, who's from Nigeria, but he's now in America. You've got Rodney, who's from South Africa, but he's in America. And you've got our main man, Igor, who's on the ground in Malawi, who will be working hand in hand with 5Roundz majority of the time. Igor does his own spaces. So come on, guys, and get involved.
Okay, so guys, that's the Twitter Spaces, 6 p.m. 5Roundz, special guests and stuff like that. We also have one more thing. Ovi, what's going on Instagram at 8 p.m.?
Wow. Well, what it do, what it does, guys. Tomorrow on Instagram, as you can see on the 5th of March, which is Saturday, we have got one of a great comedian who's very funny as well from Malawi. His real name is Eugene Kabango, aka Macheza, as everybody knows him on social media. And we have him as a guest as well on our live tomorrow on Instagram. When we'll be talking about, as we always do, relationship things and things that you people have been inboxing us, questions that we should talk about. And it's also going to be fire. You join us there at 7 p.m. here, which is in Europe, and GMT, and it's going to be 10 p.m. in CAT, which is Africa, and
Yeah, you're much
Central
right.
African time. Right.
Central Africa.
I have a question. Are we gonna get to know for the people who don't know Macheza? Are you gonna interview him and let people know
Well,
who he is?
thank
Of
you very
course.
much. Ask him after this. Thank you very much.
I know. I want because he just said
Eight-
romantic stuff like that.
8 p.m. guys, 8 p.m. If you got questions for this guy, Macheza, fantastic comedian from Malawi. If you got questions for him, listen, put them up on Instagram Live. All right, it's at 5Roundz Podcast on Instagram Live and 5_rounds on Twitter. I just wanted to talk about super chats and stickers real quick, guys. All right, so YouTube has this way where, you know, if you appreciate the work that we're doing, you can send a super chat in the form of you send a super chat as an appreciation token, and also it gets priority over other chats. So if you send us a super chat, we'll read the chat straight away, basically. For us to keep doing what we're doing and to also improve what we're doing, to, you know, to allow us to, I guess, have a bit more funded events, you know, to improve on what we're on, you know,
Working on.
and if you want to support us, send a super chat or send a sticker. I think it starts from as low as £1. I think it does. So yeah, it's from £1 to £500. So if you feel like supporting the channel, make sure you send stickers, send super chats, and all of that. We appreciate it as per. Guys, we've really loved this topic. It's been quite a long topic. Apologies for that. All right, but look, we needed to know about VR today, guys. All the details are available. We'll see you tomorrow. This is 5Roundz. Take it easy. Peace.
Whoop, whoop, peace.
All right.
Peace, peace.